What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. This video today, guys, is a follow-up to a video I did a couple days ago addressing an issue that I brought up with Key Collector's Comic app. If you haven't watched that video, I suggest you watch it before watching this. It might give you some context, but I'm going to get straight into addressing a few things. It's been heavy on my mind since I did that video, and I want to point out a few things first and foremost before we get started. All right. One, I am not into drama on my channel. I see my platform as a voice for a community. I respect everyone in this community, whether that be the YouTube community or the comic book collecting community in general. I am not one to cause drama for whatever reason. And I pair that with the fact that I am not here on this channel to promote and perpetuate divisive rhetoric for clicks and views. That is not me. That is not what I stand for 100%. I am 100% against that type of mentality. I am 100% against those type of content creators. What I am is passionate about the hobby. And I have a personality that, will speak up on issues that I feel need to be addressed. So everything that I ever bring up on my channel is out of a genuine love and concern for whatever it is I'm addressing. It's a good intention is always behind the message, okay? Now, I know sometimes my passion might be mistaken or seen as coming from a different place. I get animated and I get into the things that I'm discussing, and that may come off as being aggressive or harsh, whatever it may be. In this situation with Key Comic Collector, it is nothing more than me addressing an issue that I feel needs to be addressed. And before I dive into that again, let me just state, and I stated this in the original video, but now I'm face to face with you all. I have nothing but respect for Key Comic Collector as a business as a whole, for Nick as a creator of this business entity. I have nothing but respect for their affiliates like Comic Tom. I watch Comic Tom. I'm a fan of Comic Tom. I respect the brand that he has built and the hard work that he's put into it. And lastly, before I get into this, I want to make one more thing clear. I have been an advocate for Key Collector and Comic Tom against the outrage of conspiracy theories, right? Saying that they hype books up and they do this and they do that just to like make some backroom deals and all this. And I'm like, guys, I have been an ally against those kind of allegations. I think what Comic Tom does on his channel in terms of the top 10 and specking on books, I think there's nothing wrong with that. They are stating their opinion. They are very transparent about it. They state like, look, this is why this is. It might just be my opinion and so forth. The issue that I have and that I address with the Key Collector Comic app is because it takes precedent and it takes an industry standard and it goes against the grain of that and states information as fact when it's simply an opinion. And let me tell you guys why I got so passionate about this in that video. All right. It started when I did a video discussing hot second appearances in Spider-Man books that you might want to pick up, right? One of those issues was Punisher's second appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 135. If you can't afford the first appearance, pick up the second. That's what I was talking about in that video. And somebody commented it saying 135 isn't their second appearance, 134 is. And I said, respectfully, you're incorrect. 134 merely was a back page cameo where you see his face on one panel. You can see his boot and his gun on a couple other panels. That doesn't constitute as a full appearance. It's merely a cameo appearance that leads into his second appearance in Amazing Spider-Man 135. And you said, no, you're wrong. Key Collector said so. And I said, respectfully, Key Collector is wrong. Okay, so I did my research. I went and looked at Key Collector app in the website. And as I showed in that video, and guys, I'm not pulling anything up on screen. It's just me talking with you guys today. I pulled all this up on screen in my last video. Key Collector states that 134, Amazing Spider-Man, is indeed Punisher's second appearance. And they state 135 as his third appearance, right? They do put an asterisk under 134 stating other sources cite 135 as his second appearance. Where that he's obviously in this book, so this is his second appearance, something like that. So, I mean, it's an asterisk trying to provide context, but to me, it's kind of it doesn't matter what they say. This is why we're saying it like this. That's how I took it. Look, I don't know the intent behind it. That's how I took it. But when if you were to go to search just for Amazing Spider-Man 135, there's no context at all. It simply says third appearance of Punisher. What I want to make clear here is that this is not an isolated incident with Key Collector. Okay? It's not. There are multiple others, and I've been doing research. I'm pulling up more and more, and I might get a full-on list together. But not only is this not an isolated incident, but there is inconsistencies in how Key Collector is defining these terms. Okay? So, for one instance, they declare Uncanny X-Men 266 is Gambit's second appearance. And they go on to state how Annual 14 is clearly a first appearance. And again, look, if this is their opinion, it's fine. Look, I actually, and here's the thing I want people to know. I agree with them in terms of opinion. I do believe that Annual X-Men 14 should be considered Gambit's first appearance. I do. But that's my opinion. All right? My opinion doesn't change precedent, and it doesn't change industry standard. Okay? And I'm going to get into the fact that industry standard in and of itself is not fully concrete, but it's concrete enough to make this argument. But we'll get into that in a minute here. Let's focus on the inconsistencies and how this is not a isolated incident with, the Punisher issue, okay? Back to that. So we have Punisher, we have Gambit's issue where they're calling Uncanny 266 as his second appearance. This is where I have an issue with it, right? If a young kid collecting, or even just no matter their age, and they want to get into collecting, right? And they go into an LCS store, and they're like, you know what? I'm getting into comic books, I'm new to this, and I really love the X-Men, and I saw this character Gambit in a comic book, and I'm looking for his first appearance. And they were like, somebody pointed out that there's this book. I don't remember the number, but he's on the cover. It's like this green cover, and he's on the cover. And the other X-Men Storm is with him. And they were like, yeah, look for that book because that's his first appearance. That's the book you want to get. And the LCS owner says, no, that's his second appearance. You want this book. And showed him the Annual 14. Tell me, everyone watching right now, tell me. And that was it. And that was it. And sold him that book. Tell me that you're okay with that. Tell me that you are okay with an LCS owner doing that. This is why I wanted to do this in a live chat, but I polled you guys and you said do a video. Because I would wait for the chat to reply. That is wrong. Now, here's an example where it could be done where you can educate this individual and still be factual and still express your opinion. The LCS owner could say, yeah, you know what? Technically, and you pull out an Annual 14, technically, Gambit showed up in this book first. It came out in January of 1990. The other book came out, this book, then you pull out 266, came out in August of 1990. So I see this book as his first appearance, but it's technically defined as his cameo. And then you could say, but still, the book that you're talking about, where he's on the cover with Storm, that's technically his first full appearance. It's the money book. It's a more valuable book. That's what the market and the demand is after. So pick your choice. This one's cheaper. It's a cameo. But even though I disagree with it being a cameo, that's what it's labeled. You see what I'm saying here? The LCS owner could actually dive into his or her own opinion while still giving proper context to fact, to precedent, and to industry standard. Key Collector app is a business. It is a business providing a product and a service. And that product is to deliver factual information. The service is to deliver factual information within a database, not their opinion. Now, keep in mind, I do believe that Key Collector can voice their opinion in that database, but they have to do it extremely transparent and seamless across the board, right? They should still label Uncanny X-Men as the first full appearance, okay? And then they can state technically second appearance based on like second character appearance in story, but first or second time we see character, first full appearance, right? That's my problem, guys. Okay? You have to understand ethics, and I have people saying Key, they can say whatever they want. Key Collector app, how is it a business? I don't even want to get into. I mean, come on, guys. If you're asking how is it a business, I mean that's just over your head, right? I mean, come on now. Look, here's another issue with Key Collector app. They aren't consistent because at times, like, look at cables. They have cables. First cameo in New Mutants 86 is first cameo. But then they have New Mutants 87 as first appearance, first full appearance. If that's the case, then why aren't you stating Punisher's second full appearance as his second full appearance? You could say third appearance in issues, third issue appearance, second full appearance. And I'll use an example. Comic Book Realm does this, and I don't necessarily agree with how they do it, but it's much more transparent. They say that 135 is third appearance total, second full appearance. They do the same thing for Wolverine. They call Giant Size X-Men fourth Wolverine appearance total, second full appearance. You see, so they're still delivering the proper industry standard definition. All right? So, Key Comic Collector isn't consistent across the board. And also, they have errors too, because if you look at Hulk 182, they state Hulk 182 to be Wolverine's second appearance. And then they state Giant Size X-Men #1 to be his second appearance. So, maybe that's just an error that they haven't caught. But how do you consider them both his second appearance? And now here's another thing, though. They recognize Hulk 180 as Wolverine's first cameo. Then they recognize Hulk 181 as Hulk's first full. But then they recognize Hulk 182, which is a cameo, as his second appearance, when technically you should be calling that his third appearance based on Key Collector's logic. But it's so inconsistent. So do you see what I'm saying here, guys? Look, I want Key Collector to succeed. I want them to be consistent, and I want them to be transparent and practice ethical to have an ethical business practice to differentiate industry, opinion. All right? And you guys, because now let's go into this, you guys can sit and say, well, the industry standard itself isn't standard. There's so many holes in it. There's no concrete definition. I understand that, and I understand that until that interpretation is fully, the door is closed on that interpretation, and we have concrete, substantiated evidence across the board, it's going to allow folks like Key Collector to kind of insinuate and insert their own opinions, right? So to Key Collector's credit, and to those arguing in favor of them, you're kind of right. But there's enough there, though. There is enough precedent there. And I talked about this in my video too. It's not hard to understand the evolution of these definitions. It's not. If you actually do your research, and a lot of people were saying, I've never heard of a second appearance cameo. A cameo is only a first. That's not true. And if you did your research, you would see it. A cameo appearance, especially, look, we document appearances by number, at least up until 5 for a popular character, right? We will document first appearance, second appearance, third appearance, fourth appearance, fifth appearance. After that, we start not caring about the numbers and the labels of the appearances, right? But at least on average, we can document up to the 5th appearance, right? If there's any appearance in there that consists of one page or a few panels, either at the beginning of a book, most likely either at the beginning of a book or at the end of a book, it's going to be considered a cameo, regardless if it's first, second, third, or fourth, right? That is precedent, and you can do your research and you can find this. It is fact, all right? And we have had precedent from the publishers themselves, from the faces of the publishers, which are the writers and the artists. And I've said this before. When a writer and an artist speaks and defines what a first appearance or a second appearance or a cameo appearance is of the characters within the stories that they're creating, they are speaking on behalf of and representing the publisher themselves. So it is the most valid, credible source. Until a hierarchy of executives say, nope, this is what it is. If they override the claim of the artists and the writers, that's where it validates the publisher's definition and perspective, right? Outside of that, though, we have Overstreet. Overstreet has been a guy that has been following and working with publishers and every industry entity for decades now. Even CBCS, CGC, and all the grading companies for decades now. Respect to Key Collector Comics, they've only been around for 3 years, okay? You have to respect the precedent set before you, all right? And even CGC, I've been giving them so much credit for this. Even CGC, when there isn't substantiated proof, where there's no misinterpretation of what an appearance is, they will either not label it, or they will do like what they've done with the virus issue, with the Free Comic Book Day book in the Venom 26 book. And they'll say, technically this because of a delay, but, you know, because CGC knows, especially now more than ever, that they're not gonna take credit for stating wrong information. That's called ethics. That's a good business practice and a good business model and culture to run your business on. I think Key Collector is missing that here, and I don't want them to. Look, if Key Collector wants to be a proponent for changing the game, right? If they really truly believe this whole cameo stuff is BS and we want to look at it like this and we feel this is how the industry should be, and I said this in the last video, they should utilize an opinion piece. They should utilize their mouthpiece and go to the industry themselves. Don't use your database to thwart fact. Have a blog spot like Go Collect does. Have a blog spot like Go Collect does. Go Collect uses opinion pieces, but what their opinions are doesn't change how they document precedent and industry fact within their database. Key Collector should do the same thing. Key Collector has a voice in the industry. Nick, as the owner and creator of Key Collector, can come onto social media or on the internet and say, look, we believe this is what we should be. Let's petition it. Community, get behind me, the creator of Key Collector, and let's petition the industry to change these defining terms. But until then, we have to respect industry standard, and we're going to document it as such. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I am not on no conspiracy theory, saying screw Key Collector, screw Comic Tom, and all this crap. I'm for unity in my community. Like, straight up. And that's why I'm coming back here and talking about it more. I want everyone to know my intent. First off, I am not here to be divisive. There is too much of that divisive crap, especially within YouTube. There's too many people that use pop culture and comic book culture and geek culture to get hundreds and thousands of clicks and views and subscribers. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the love of the hobby and for the love of the collectors. So, with that being said, again, I mean, I could keep beating a dead horse now, but I think I stated pretty clear, and I just want to sum it up. All right? There is precedent out there, guys, whether you like the terms or not. I don't like the term cameo, but these terms are more concrete than they've ever been. They are more solidified and transparent than they've ever been, and we just have to accept that that's the way it is, and we have to do our research to understand them. It's out there, and there's a way that you can document this by showing your opinion and stating precedent. I really hope Key Collector can understand that, and I hope that they can be transparent about this issue. And like I said, look, I am though at a point where it's like, when there's no transparency on these things, people, fans, and even content creators start assuming, and this can be a reason why these like conspiracy theories happen. Now, I'm not saying they should, but when we start having to assume things, because we don't understand the context of them, it creates problems. It creates problems. So I want to know why. And look, as a content creator myself, maybe I need to be more due diligent in trying to reach out to Key Collector and trying to say, look, because I feel like I'm a journalist in a sense. I feel like I'm a reporter where I'm bringing my community and the collectors out there the information that they need. That's what I'm doing. I'm addressing issues, right? So maybe I should have took the approach of, all right, look, if we want to get to the bottom of this, let's go directly to the source. And I may still do that. When I had an issue with Cosmic and MCU Cosmic. See, and that's the thing. MCU Cosmic, see, here's to go to show that I support these guys. MCU Cosmic came out. Not only is he a YouTuber, but he has an actual website that is an insider source. And he said YouTubers are spreading lies, and I really do feel like he was talking about Comic Tom and some others. And I was like, dude, where's your source? Where's your information? Like, for those that watched that video, and I did a live stream about it, I'm like, I don't want to disrespect this guy. I reached out to him before I made that video. I said, look, I disagree with you. I think what you're doing is detrimental to the livelihoods of people like Comic Tom and like content creators like myself. That it's basically libel, and slander, documented slander, and you're gonna throw these accusations out there that there's no context to back it up. So I want that right there should show you guys context of where I'm coming from. I put context here. I'm not just out slandering Key Collector Comics. I'm not. I brought the issue up, I provided the facts, and I stated my view on it and my opinion on it. And I want Key Collector to succeed. But I'm a businessman myself. And I see this as being problematic because when you talk about business, trust is important. We don't go buy somebody's product or buy somebody's service if we don't trust that service. Maybe we trust the quality. Maybe we trust the service itself. Maybe we trust the brand recognition. We build trust in how we spend our money and how we utilize our purchasing power. Key Collector is a business, is a brand that's creating a service and a product. And if they're inconsistent with this stuff and they're pushing opinion over precedent, in fact, it can be negative to the consumer trust of their product and of their business. And it can hurt them in the long run. So technically, me bringing these things up can help them evolve and work through these issues. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I went on long enough. I really hope that this provided context. Look, and I would really I don't know Nick. I've never seen Nick. The only reason why I know the name Nick is because it's thrown around in the community. I know you go on the website and I saw his email. So I might reach out to Nick and address this to him personally. But look, at the end of the day, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to bring forth information that I feel is valid to address to the community and to fellow collectors. And I'm not going to feel guilty about that. But as you guys see here, I got so much pushback that it's like, yeah, I don't want my intent to be misinterpreted. I don't want my intent to be seen as malicious towards anybody. That is not me. If you watch my channel, that's not me. Please understand my passion. But it comes from my heart always. Always. It never comes from a place of ill will, and it never comes from a place of trying to put clicks and views and subscribers over the good of human beings in the community and my integrity first and foremost. Straight up. So, thank you all for watching. Please leave me some feedback. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you all. I appreciate those that were able to comment on my last video and disagree with me respectfully. For those that couldn't do that, I ask you to try to, gain a little more maturity and communicate your disagreements as grown folks and grown adults, okay? And until then, look, if you guys do agree with me, don't go blindly blackballing Key Collector or anyone affiliated with them. Don't do that. That's not what I want. I just want us to be vocal and advocate for what we feel should be fixed or addressed in this sense. So thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. And until next time.